This was day 2 of my trip to Phoenix. It was sparring day at the MMA Lab. I got to see Trayshawn Gore here. I got to see Benson Henderson and Markel Maderos, who you see sparring. People like Jared the Killer Gorilla Cannoneer. A lot of really amazing talent on the mats. I honestly wish I'd filmed them more, but it was a little bit nerve-wracking just to be there with limbs flying everywhere while I'm trying to point the camera at Marcus. Hey, here we got Trayshawn Gore. He was getting in rounds. I even got to see a little bit of Alex Caceres as he was getting ready for his upcoming dirty boxing match. And over there to the left is Eric McConico Jr., another UFC middleweight. Overall, it was a great experience. Later on, you'll see that Marcus and I went skating later that night after this, which is crazy. I was extremely impressed with Benson Henderson and Markel Maderos here. Markel was getting ready for his UFC fight that he just won a week ago. And Benson Henderson, although he was probably the oldest guy on the mat, he was there sparring and ready before everyone, and he was still going as Marcus and I were leaving. Enjoy the video and stay tuned for part 3, where I'll conclude it with a bunch of street skating.
Good Come girl, fuck it. Hit it. Stand up. That ain't my wrestler. Oh, this is going over. Get off this, get off.
Oh, no, right. 6 rounds so far?
6 so far. How many y'all usually do?
About 15?
15?
Well, it depends.
Y'all were doing 5-minute rounds?
5-minute rounds.
But if I went guillotine, you go guillotine with me if my head's too low. So you go over the top and my head's too low. We're talking about this. We're doing you need like sealed. You need like sealed on wrist. And like have the control of it.
So
it's
that
like
can't go
scraping.
here.
Yeah, but this sucks because now see how I just smashed my
100%
position?
all the way into that leg.
Yeah, now you're kind of on me. Because I'm on the coach, I'm like, it's kind of hard to pick the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's like you just gotta be safe in there, each one, because that's
It's not that bad. Like dude, you know how many times I can hear it here? Like, you're kind of chilling here.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not in the best spot, but also, I'm judging starting to fight winning.
Yeah, you are winning, sure, because you have the back still.
I like the pace we were going. I could tell that we were
Yeah, I don't.
He's like, oh
Like, such a good place that people don't like see it happen. I just throw hands and all of a sudden he disappears.
Marcus just got done sparring. I just got done watching. I got to see Marcus have a bunch of rounds. I had to see a bunch. They got an amazing team at the MMA Lab. It's pretty crazy. But Marcus is telling me about his cooking show. Y'all should check out his cooking show. So give me a little bit about it, like how it's structured, everything like that.
Yeah, so it's called Munchies with Marcus. It basically just came down to me smoking and enjoying food, creating different dishes to cook, basically. And it was a way for me to kind of get back and talk to and have a relationship with my fans as well. So basically, I kind of structured it with doing skits, similar to like Dave Chappelle, you know? He always had his skits around, so we'll just mess around and do skits, different type of skits. We did like a Matrix playoff. I've done some funny ones where I'm like in the pool smoking and someone rings the doorbell and I'm being goofy, some skateboarding stuff. But we always start with a skit, knock out the skit, funny skit, and then whatever the skit is, it always ends with us going into the meal. And then we'll just prepare the meal, make some dad jokes. Gotta make the dad jokes.
Gotta have the dad jokes.
So we'll make some jokes, hang out, finish the meal up, and then try the meal at the end of the show, and that's kind of how we structure the show. So been doing that for almost 2 years now. I think we got 24 or 26 episodes, something like that.
Sick.
So that's pretty cool. Haven't gotten back to it because my guy that you met today has been busy and he hasn't been able to really get with me, and trying to create that type of environment where we can be playful and also get really quality content is very important to me. I think people appreciate it more too. So that's been something that's super important to me that we haven't jumped on. Plus, I want to get some real culinary skills going, you know, where I'm over here
learning how to make a mirepoix, all that. Yeah.
You know, do different types of French dishes, Indian dishes, you know, and then have different series like that where I'm doing even like multiple different sandwiches. I love different sandwich ASMR type of and then like they take the knife and they like cut the bread and then cut the bread, you know.
I get stuck watching that stuff sometimes. And
then take a bite and it's like crunch, you know, but also you can hear all the softness of the different type of meats. Like, yeah, very much a foodie connoisseur. So you being here isn't necessarily the biggest. I want to go into Denny's with you, you know?
Oh, man. So you about to go home and eat now, right?
I got some. I'm going to check my weight at home first and see where I'm at right now, which I think I'm good. I think I'm like 58, you know, something like that.
So you check your weight, and then after that, you'll go and you'll make a meal, and you got all your macros tracked out and everything like that, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And this is daily life for you.
Daily life.
This is what it's like. There's no days off.
Mm-hmm.
You're keeping it like this. This is how,
I just try to keep it like this, whether I'm in camp or not in camp. Just that I'm always ready and able if anything does jump up for me to be there and to be able to take that opportunity. Kind of how I got into the UFC.
How you ended up getting into the UFC?
Yeah, so just training regular. I was basically waiting for a fight. Couldn't find a fight for 4 months. And my manager was saying, hey, being adamant, hey man, be ready. If a call comes through, bro, you're the one I'm gonna push up. You know, you're the one I'm gonna throw their name out, and if they accept you, you know, you'll be going off. And I kind of believe that it was true too, you know. And I couldn't find any other fights regionally at that time too. I wasn't getting any regional fights. And then I just remember being after practice. One of the guys I was training with that you got some footage of today, Jack England.
Yeah.
Me and him were doing jiu-jitsu like 11:30. I was fasting, so I had fasted Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and this was Wednesday morning. And I was doing jiu-jitsu, and then I was gonna go eat after doing that. So every week I was just really trying to keep my weight around 52, 53, so that if anybody called me within, really I always thought I needed a week to make weight, but they called me to make weight by that Friday. So they hit me up Wednesday at 11 o'clock. Didn't tell me who I was fighting yet, but asked me if I'd take the fight. I said yes. They said, hurry up, go home, get packed. We're gonna send you an airplane ticket. It's either gonna be tonight or for tomorrow morning.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, bet, you know. To be honest, I was just smoking a joint with Jack in the back of the freaking of the gym. So like we were just back there blazing, you know, like, man, you take a fight this weekend? I'm like, yeah, of course I'd take a fight this weekend if they'd hit me up, you know. I would do that, you know. We're just kicking the shit with each other, you know. And then sure enough, he goes, he goes, all right, man, I'm gonna go back inside. He goes back inside. I jump in my truck, drive basically right here to where this street is right here, and coach hits me up and he's just like, hey, Marvin McGhee. And I was like, hey, what's up, coach? And he's like, ready to fight in the UFC this weekend? And I was like, hell yeah, like, let's go. And he was like, go home, get everything ready. And I was like, bet. I went home and started getting everything ready. I was like, dang, who am I fighting? I didn't even know who I was fighting yet, you know? And I was just like, all right, bet. I was like, I started looking up. I didn't even hit him back up first. I was just looking up who was fighting on the card, and I saw Jerry Newsom was on there, and that his opponent had pulled out. And I was like, oh, bet. Okay, I'm fighting Jerry Newsom. I was like, all right, bet. It's going to be a tough fight, but let's do it, you know? And then,
that's insane, because I watched that fight. Like, I watched that fight when it happened, and like, you would have never thought that you got that notice less than a week, like a few days notice. That's insane.
Yeah, Wednesday at 11 o'clock they let me know. I made weight 9 o'clock on Friday morning, and then we fought Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's insane.
So I went from being outside the UFC on a Wednesday morning to being 1-0 in the UFC on a Saturday afternoon.
That's insane, because a lot of people go winless in the UFC, even having training camps.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like, it's one thing I've always been like pretty rigorous about, is like trying to keep my outside training life the same as it's a lifestyle, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't have fun. I enjoy stuff. I'll eat food. But I'm being measured of when I'm doing it, what I'm doing, the days, you know, like I know how much work we put in yesterday, skating yesterday, moving around, then going dancing all night. So like, I didn't eat crazy last night, you know, but I can have fries. I can have fries and a burger.
Have a burger and fries. Yeah.
You know, it's not going to kill me. It's not going to change anything.
With your activity level, yeah.
Exactly. Like, should it be dense nutrients? Yeah, probably should be better dense nutrient foods, but that's not going to make the difference in my day to day, you know. So I just be measured and make sure I'm training and keeping up with myself outside of camp, inside of camp, whenever it is, living the lifestyle, so that when moments do happen, and honestly, I don't really want to do that anymore. I don't think it's the smartest business decision as a fighter to be taking short notice fights, like you said.
Yeah.
We can do everything right, prepare completely the best we can, have the best training partners, best food, everything, and go out there and lose fights, you know, and not even shit the bed. Like, literally just go out there and the guy's better than you, period, you know. And like, it's like having to accept that, you know, that's always a possibility. It might be his night, you know. So it's like, in real retrospect, the best thing that we can do for ourselves is still give ourselves the best opportunity, the best chance at winning the fight, because we can still lose doing that, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So why leave anything on the table?
Exactly.
Hey. Good stuff, man. Good work today in the gym, man. That was awesome.
Appreciate it. Yeah, some good work, man. Ready to start this camp, man, so we can start going crazy, you know.
So the camp is different. The camp is like a different level.
It just gets more intense, you know. And then I'll be doing the cage rounds more. So I'll have my cage rounds. I have my Shark Tank rounds where I have guys circle in on me, and then in those cage rounds, you know, we're not trying to hurt each other, but we get active in those cage rounds.
Because I seen Markel doing his, and then I seen Alex Caceres doing his, and it was crazy. Like, the intensity level, like, I've never sparred that intensity level.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't trying to knock each other out, but they could have knocked each other out.
Basically, so we go live, so we're not trying to knock each other out, but people do get knocked out.
Yeah.
You know, people do get hurt. We're not trying to hurt each other. We're not maliciously doing that. But it's like such a hard threshold to train at that level and train with that much intensity and not hurt each other. You know what I'm saying? And it's so hard to do that, because we have to get the realest feeling of it. We got to be in that moment. You got to feel like, oh my goodness, I don't want to be here. And then you got to be like, wait, what am I talking about? I want to be here. I'm here. This is what I love to do, and be present, you know? The only way to build that is through feeling that in training camp.
Because if you don't feel that in training,
when you get in the fight,
you're gonna get in the fight and just want to wilt.
Yeah, you're gonna feel it, because you're gonna feel it in the fight. Like, unless you go out here and knock this guy out right away. But that's never the plan. Don't get me wrong. Like, the idea is great, but no, you need to be ready to fight this guy for 3 rounds. You need to be getting beat up for 3 rounds, freaking all, and then have 2 minutes left and have the fire in your heart to go get this guy. You know what I'm saying? That's like my mentality. Is like, I don't plan on that being the thing, but I want to be in the type of shape and in the type of mentality that, when that moment happens, 3rd round, 2 minutes left on the clock, and I got to get this thing back in blood, that I can do that. You know, that I've worked at least to do it. And if I don't do it, that's fine. Maybe this guy's still that good and I just couldn't do it. But I don't want to be like, oh, I don't have it in me. I don't want to have the heart to do it, you know? I want to have the more than enough heart to do it. And if my skill ends up lacking, so be it. But I don't want my heart to be lacking.
See, that's one of the big things that I noticed about fighters. And that's something I've noticed about skaters too, is having that heart. Like, the best skaters have that kind of heart. And pretty much every fighter that I've ever trained with, met, that fights, like either where they're taking multiple amateur fights or they're taking professional fights, or obviously like in your gym, people that are in the UFC and Bellator, well, rest in peace Bellator, but they all have that heart. They all have that last gear. They all have it in skate. Like with skaters, I like to call it the fuck it switch.
Yeah, oh no,
right? Because you know what it is. Because sometimes you got the skill, but you're like, fuck, you just got broke. But you're like, I can still move. I gotta do this because I'm not gonna want to come back. So I gotta just squeeze out that last 10% that's left in me and hope I can get this, or go home completely broken, but I gave it everything.
100%.
And I see that in you guys fighters. I seen it even in the training room over there. Like, yeah.
And you developed that, right? Well, we didn't really have cameras, and it wasn't for social media before. Not to say that everybody's about that now, but it was all about just going home and it was all the internal feeling of all that though.
Yeah.
Like, you either got it or you left everything out there trying to get it. But if you didn't do that, you were upset. You weren't upset that you didn't get it.
You were upset that you could have tried harder.
Exactly.
And that you didn't, and you know it, and nobody else knows it, but you know it.
And now you have to go
to school with that sprained ankle thinking, damn, like, oh, my ankle's jacked up, but I didn't feel it at that moment, and I could have kept going, but I stopped, and now I'm limping around. Didn't get the trick, and I didn't give everything that I could, and then you develop it over time.
Like when we were at the skate park lot yesterday, I wanted to give up on that 50 kickflip. It's not that I didn't know I know I had it, you know, but it's like, dang, you do it 20 times and you're just like, all right, bro, are you gonna let all the outside things stop you from finishing this trick, or are you gonna finish what you came here to do?
What up, y'all? Oh, I mean, Norman.
How you doing?
How you doing? Nice to meet you. What up, Marcus?
What up, bro? Ski.
Let's go skate.
Ready to knock it out?
Get a little night session.
I think we are gonna hit D West.
Sick. Desert West.
Gotcha. D West, baby. The dirty. That's where they have Phoenix Am at now.
Oh, wow. That hubba.
Yeah. Super dope hubba. They left everything this year, so that's pretty sick.
Dope.
Takes away my sight, got everything I want. Still I lie awake at night. Loving is contagious, creeping into every dream, invading every thought. Pressure busting through my scenes.
All day long, skate or die, Bresky. And this is like my last freaking hoorah because I'm about to fight
you got pick up, huh?
Yeah, so I'm like,
when's that gonna happen?
July 26th, so.
Okay. Where?
I'm down, no.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi, yeah. So I'm like, all right, this is my last little hoorah. We're gonna make it count, baby. To make it count. Norman's out here too, so I'm like, I told the whole gang, let's go thrash tomorrow, and then
get some
put
clips.
the board away for the next, 9 weeks,
That would be so hard.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
9 weeks? Oh, man.
Put it away, and then have to get back on it and feel it again. It takes me a minute because I haven't skated, and even yesterday we skated for the first time.
Yep.
I think it's been 4 weeks since I skated. I hadn't even touched my board in 4 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only time I go that long is if I'm injured, and it's so hard because but at least you're in shape when you do it, because when you get injured, I'm like all creaking and just when I get back on it. Yeah.
More so than anything, I just have to remember. I have to get back to like, oh, my torso. Oh, it's like I just gotta get all the feeling of it. Even like the flip tricks, like feeling good about flipping, catching, all that stuff. Like I just gotta get it back and put it back in my head. And just that motion of the two-pick that we were talking about, like keeping that two-pick, that upward frame. And once I feel that again, I'm like, oh, I do have all these tricks still. But
you gotta get the confidence back.
I gotta get the confidence back.
Everybody knows about that, especially at our age. Stepping out, and you're like, I could do this, and then you're like, oh, legs are trembling, and you're like, man.
Especially when you start going down, and you're like, once you get in this position, you're like, wait, I know I need to get lower, but I can't.
You can't.
You know,
You're too.
why can't I get
Oh
lower?
man.
You're gonna be like.